determine an inequality for the following graph. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is basically determine the equation for this parabola. So our standard equation for parabolas, we have y is equal to ax minus h squared plus k. Okay, so we can see right here we have a vertex at -1, -1. And that means that we're just going to plug these values in for k and h. We can also see that our coefficient is just going to be 1 because it's just going over 1, up 1, so there's no expansion. So we have y equals x minus -1 squared plus -1. All right, so let's just go simplify those signs. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to determine what kind of sign we're going to be using here. So as we can see, we have a solid boundary here, or a solid line, so we know that it's going to be either a less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. Now there's two ways to find which one it's going to be. One of them is a heck of a lot easier than the other. So what we can do is we look at the shaded region here and we see that it is above the parabola. And so we can essentially just say that, okay, we're looking for the shaded region that is above the parabola or is greater than the parabola. So quite simply, we just say y is greater than, let me redraw that, y is greater than x plus 1 squared minus 1. And there you have it. That's the answer. But if we want to use a test point, we can do that as well. I'm going to use 0, 1. And so for this particular one, we kind of have to work backwards. We don't know what the sign is going to be, so we're going to just leave it as y is blank, either less than or greater than. So we just put a line there. X plus 1 squared minus 1. Okay? So we plug in our points. So y is 1. We have this kind of blank. It's either greater than or less than. And then we have 0 plus 1 squared minus 1. And so we have 1 is something. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 squared is still 1. 1 minus 1. And so we have 1 is something, 0. And so here we can just write in, okay, we know 1 is greater than 0. And then we just make sure we make that an equals to because we're using a solid line. All right. So now that we've picked our sign, again, we'll come to the same conclusion. Y is greater than or equals to our parabola. So that's all for this one. I hope that helps. Thank you. Bye.